Finally, Christos Vaskrse.
Life in democracy.
What have you been up to these days? Except, of course, eating every type of meat and cheese you can get your hands on.
Actually, this is the first year I wasn't doing that.
I absolutely do not believe you. Are you Orthodox or not?
I may be slipping away. This may be like the first symptom, but no, I'm totally Orthodox.
Okay.
Okay.
No, what have you been doing? I mean, if you weren't getting back into cheese and meat.
Just working, making videos, going to the gym, trying to regulate my diet, and that's it. I'm so sleepy.
Well,
How about you, man?
that's how you look. Well, you want to hear about my day today?
No.
Yeah, I've been getting back to meat and cheese
Mhm.
and exponentially more work for some reason, even though I pretty much thought I was gonna, you know, I don't know, like I wanted to reorganize my work week, and then, things just start popping up, left and right. One would imagine, especially us, the Orthodox Christians, we're kind of used to having like big challenges happen to us during the Great Lent. And
Mhm.
then pretty much when the Great Lent is done, you kind of cool off and, back to normal, more or less, whatever normal is, right? But at least back to like less stress. It wasn't like that. The week was the first week after the Great Lent was like things exploded. You know, suddenly there's this compliance that you need to deal with.
Okay.
I'm starting to really hate that word.
It is one of those words I don't really know what it means. I mean, outside of its regular meaning, but it is one of those words that's thrown about in very technical ways, and it's one of those things you simply learn to hate very easily.
Yes. I'm. You know how. It's always people. People are the biggest problem. You know.
Really.
Yeah, people are always the biggest problem. Like I know there are scammers around the world. Who are
Mhm.
trying to like charge you things and keep charging you things. I know because I've dealt with them myself a million times.
Mhm.
But in general, if you're like doing software like I am, people just don't read anything.
Why would they?
It's always next, next, next. And then when a charge happens, which they were previously notified, gave explicit consent, blah 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 blah, they're like, why did this happen? I didn't want this to happen. It's they never start with, well, I forgot to cancel, which is in 99% cases.
Yeah,
It's in
that is how I
90.
run my Patreon.
And then then I don't know, Visa or Mastercard, they suddenly decide they're going to force these like compliances everywhere, and it's like, let's not put the burden of properly informing people, giving them proper mechanisms to deal with it. Let's not put that burden on banks. Let's put that burden on exponentially more services and products and whatnot who are charging people. Let's let's
Okay.
let's let's make their job harder. And banks don't want to really deal with this because they actually get a percentage of every refund, every dispute.
By
Yeah.
the way, you reminded me of a friend of mine, and she described Switzerland like this. They would prefer if there were no other people. They would like it best if they simply had a huge wall around their country with
An ATM.
an opening where you put in your money and that's it. And that is my impression of the banks. Like, uh, they would really like for everything to be that they push the button and simply go home. I mean, by the way, I know people who work in banks. I know how they're overworked. I know all of that. But
I
you're
don't
the
know all
money
of that.
institution. Hmm?
I don't know all of that, but okay. Let me tell you this.
You're right, guy. So
More than one person from United States, for example, made a comment about banks in Serbia, like you guys are actually the ones chasing banks for loans. It's like United States. I need a loan, and like every single phone that was near has listened to
explode.
that, and you're being bombarded. Like the phone keeps ringing, this or that bank. Hey, I think you might be a good fit for one of our loans. And then in Serbia, let me describe this for you. Bank X. Hello, this is Bank X. Click this, click that, blah, 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 through the system. You interested in bank credits? You select your credit type. This credit, that credit. Okay. Credit for real estate. Thank you for holding. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, how big is your salary? This, and that. Okay, that's good enough. You can definitely get a line of credit. And I'm like, well, okay, just to be on the safe side, I've been working like this legal entity for 5 years, and then I switched to that legal entity. She's like, well, how old is the new legal entity? I'm like, well, it's gonna be like 7 months tomorrow. And she's like, 7 months, did you say? I'm like, yes, there's like five of us, and we all have good salaries. If it's not at least, what was it, 24 months old, you cannot get a line of credit.
Oh no! Oh no! Wait, there's something on the screen that Peter says no.
Yeah.
No, my previous real workplace was perfect for Bible Illustrated. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But I could not get a loan for an apartment. So now I have to be a wage slave, as they're called, in order to have a place of my own.
Wage snail. Or
Slave.
or you can invest in ADA or Cardano.
Are those the cryptocurrencies du jour?
Yeah, yeah. But to be honest, I wouldn't consider that an investment. I would literally consider that as throwing money away, hoping that something drops from the heavens.
So gambling.
100%.
Yeah, there's a word for that.
No, I mean, like every other sort of high stake gambling, only people who have really deep pockets actually get something out of it because,
Yeah.
where there's like 15,000 of them, pick the best ones, put money everywhere, have a diverse portfolio. 9 of them fail. Who cares? Because one of them was like 10x. So
Give me your day.
give me your day.
Yes.
I can't. I played basketball today,
I-
and it was 3 of us, and we literally couldn't breathe. So out of shape. Pandemic, blah blah blah. But the worst thing is, freaking sun. First, we no longer have good climate. You know that, like, the transitional period between winter and summer, or summer and winter, no longer exists. Like you can call
Down in
them.
spring and fall.
No,
Yeah.
you can call them spring and fall, but they don't exist, right?
Mhm.
It's just a switch, because yesterday I was freaking cold, and today the sun literally, you can like fry an egg easy.
Mhm.
And I played basketball without a hat. And as we say here in Serbia, I got hit by the sun.
Mhm.
So you can imagine my head was throbbing for the entire day. Medication didn't help. Finally, I was like, I used wet towels, cold wet towels, until I kind of recuperated. That was my day. Kids went to sleep 30 minutes ago. It's now almost 11 p.m. So go
Mhm.
figure. It's such a wonderful day, and some other things which I dare not speak in front of the camera.
Well, we talk a lot of our personal weird experiences. So,
Yes. So what have I decided to fight recently,
oh,
vigorously,
yeah.
vigorously fight, risking being offensive and risking people being like, I'm not gonna talk to this guy.
Yeah.
So there's something I mind very, very much, specifically in Christian Orthodox circles, which is
Uh, this phenomena isn't really particular to.
it. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I guess I'm wrong.
You are wrong. Very,
Fine.
very wrong.
Okay.
This intonation suits me very well. I will now speak like this forever and ever and ever.
No, do not.
So, by the way, are we ever gonna get the long version of the cartoon?
I think that we need to pressure the guy.
Yeah, you know that like at least like 5% of those views are just me, like rewatching the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
hope
just
that
love.
the longer version will deliver even better.
Yeah, I just love. I loved it. Anyways, so the phenomena, as you say, is sharing information without, you know,
Double check.
a clear source, without a name behind it, and of course without fact checking or checking anything, like even freaking thinking about it. And I say that this is okay. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. This is a global phenomenon. It's not particular to Christian Orthodox. But what I mind is Christians doing this. Because, in my personal opinion, it's 100% against what we've been told
Uh,
by.
can you can you read the message that you were forwarded?
Yeah, sure. Let me find it. Yeah,
This is
but
the
that was.
message.
But B,
Sorry.
man, that was like one out of 15 trillion messages like
Yeah.
that. And funny thing is, I shared this one with you, and basically uh, somebody else shared it with you.
Yeah, because I know how these things go. I mean, and you know very well. So
Okay,
this is the
cool.
message.
I'm
Mhm.
translating as I read, so sorry for messing things up. I'm forwarding this message to you. Stop buying meat at Maxi and Yuhor, brand names, until further notice. And make sure you forward this to whom would appreciate it. What they've shown this morning is that 19,000 pigs with with some disease, Africa,
I think it's swine plague.
but something from Africa. We'll check it.
Africa swine plague. I will
So
check it.
so apparently 19,000 pigs with African plague,
African swine fever.
yeah,
That's the English word.
were thrown in a pit close to Zaječar in Halovo village, which is from a farm being held by Mishkovic. Mishkovic is like a tycoon, if you know what that is. It's like he's a businessman, quote unquote. So he's the one giving meat to Maxi and Yuhor, previously mentioned brand. Forward this, maybe people don't get up early on Sundays and they didn't watch the morning, as in
Program.
probably the morning show or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially who has kids. You know, this
It's
message
perfect. It's perfect.
it ticks all the boxes. You
Yeah.
know, the confirmation part, like this was in the morning show. Supposedly, it wasn't.
But not which channel,
Nothing.
when.
No, 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 nothing. Then 19,000 pigs thrown in a pig. Who the hell has 19,000 pigs in Serbia? Like, if you collect all the pigs in Serbia, there's not going to be 90. Uh, well,
I think there would be.
well, in total, there would be.
But
Um,
yeah,
but then, especially mentioning the tycoon, mentioning the big brands. Um,
think of the kids.
and think of the poor little kids. And so okay, so this is one out of many messages that simply somebody just takes and forwards on one of
Uh,
our groups.
okay, but as I was joking regarding this message, this has to be initiated by Matijević butcher shop.
Yeah, like the
The third,
competitor.
like the third brand that's not mentioned here. So
Yeah, competitor. Um, and I kind of freak out. I kind of freak out because my initial, I'm a human being. The first thing is when you get a message from somebody you're kind of immediately inclined to not take it with a grain of salt, which everybody should do. So what I did, I forwarded this to my wife because we sometimes buy some sort of meat from said brand. But I told her I'm going to check this, and of course, the second I googled it, you see that there is something
yeah,
like some pigs are going to be slaughtered
yeah.
because they were found infected, but it has nothing to do with the message that I've read. And I went into a bit of a debate, and I tried like the first. I tried very easily, like very like how should I put it? You know, open-minded, not harsh. Well, we shouldn't share this unchecked information. It's just bad to share these. It's like we're not already saturated with bad news and stuff like that. And and I'm and I get this response. Well, you check and let us know. This information is also on other networks.
Yeah, meaning that it was shared in other groups and message boards and by the way, I remember. I think that I might have mentioned this in our first episode called "This Charity." Was that our first episode? There's nothing called "This
That was that
Charity."
was that was that was
No,
the
no, no.
audio
Notre Dame
audio
Fire
podcast.
was the first. Notre Dame Fire was the first. So um, a friend of mine sent me one of those chain emails, and
Chinese mails.
no, chain mails,
Chain, like chain emails.
mails, not like pieces of armor.
These were like these ruled this space before we had social networks.
And I got like a message from one of my friends. Please forward this to as many addresses as possible. And it was like those, for every message forward, Microsoft and AOL and Netscape will and ICQ will donate 2 cents to healing of this horribly scarred child. And I'm like,
What a cool way to spread malware.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
and the image of the child is linked to the malware, and people are, oh, such a sweet click.
I wouldn't know about that, but there was a picture of the child, which was like a baby which had some scarring on its cheeks. So I crack my knuckles and I write to my friend, Anna, listen. First of all, these companies could easily pay for whatever for this child if they wanted to. So they would not resort to such tactics as forwarding the emails.
Well,
But that notwithstanding, I have received this same exact email 8 years ago. I think that this baby has much bigger issues than the scars. and okay, she took it well, but when I presented similar arguments to an acquaintance of mine regarding some similar, she gave the worst possible answer that well, maybe it's helping somebody. I hate that argument. And like a decade later, I heard what it's called, selectivism. I loved it.
Selectivism.
Selectivism.
Yeah, because you're a slacker, and
Yeah, yeah.
and
No, no, you're
you
like
don't
doing
want to
something.
spend time. You don't want to invest effort to fact check, brain check, sanity check, sober check, or
Okay,
any check.
okay. The point of the selectivism is different than that. Here is that you're supposedly doing a good deed.
Ah,
Well, you lost no money, you lost no time, you lost no nothing, you know. But you have helped a starving, sick, mauled child, and there's not even a child to begin with. I mean,
yeah, but do you know people have like a psychological issue with this? Being
like real.
afraid, that if they don't share certain information, they're doing sin. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know, and that is why people share like missing dog posters from a different country.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what I don't get. Like, you're afraid of sinning, right? And that's a driving force for you to share things left and right. But you don't do the first thing, which is like already commanded to you, you know, be like the snake and like the pigeon. What does that mean? Be wise like the snake and what's the word?
Doves and serpents.
Hey, who cares? Serpent, snake, same thing. Pigeon, dove, hey, same thing.
Egg, basilisk.
What's the problem? Are you like language shaming me right now? Or
Yes,
Bible shaming me right now?
yes.
Yes. Bible shaming hour. Ding, 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 ding. Anyways, and also, I'm always thinking it like this. Be the salt to the world. What does that mean?
That you always need to be salty.
Well, besides that,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, it has to have many meanings, right? But what does it mean in this context? What does salt do, right? Salt purifies things. You know, it has, cleaning and purifying qualities.
And at the time, it was very expensive and rare.
Okay, doesn't work for my argument here, so I'm just gonna let it go. Uh,
My argument. B is a random comment.
no, but I'm trying to apply this here.
Okay.
If you don't do this, and you're supposed to be salt to the world, what are you then? Because don't give false testimony. If you take a piece of information, and you're like, okay, piece of information, and give it to somebody else, you're putting your stamp on it. It's as if you're putting your signature behind it. You're giving it more legitimacy by sharing information. You're giving it legitimacy. If you don't understand that, please call. I'll leave my phone number. Call me and explain it to me, because I'm stupid. I will not leave my phone number though.
No. But I think that people are naive, and they're going along the lines of, why would somebody lie about something like this? I mean, listen.
All doctors in the world are good. They all want to help people. Bam, Kosovo. Pulling organs from people, selling them on the black market. Who is naive like this?
A lot of people, like a
People,
lot.
stop being naive.
Listen. First, their line of thinking is, why would somebody lie about something like this? Okay, For this, I think it is pretty much clear that this was launched by somebody who was a competitor of Maxi or Ucore.
Yeah, it really ticks all the boxes. Like
No, 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 but it's
there is
perfect.
intelligence behind
No,
that.
no, 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 no. It's perfect. Like you could have sent that one whenever, and it would work because there's nothing to pinpoint it to a moment in time. You could have sent it 10 years ago or in 10 years. It would work. It's infernal. It's in ingenuity.
Yeah,
But
like those news that just get resurrected every now and then.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But what was I trying to say? However, for some types of chainmail, it's not as um, it is not as easy. For example, there's like we are living in a society where friendship and similar ties are slowly dying out. Send this to 10 of your friends and see who replies back. And people are usually like, well, why would somebody do this with some ulterior motive? And well, for the same reason, people like to achieve great things, have kids, and so on.
Yeah,
They
my
want to,
dad would send me those kinds.
sorry,
My dad would send me those kind of like messages. You know, send this to
that
Kenna,
I'm like
and
your
you're
friend
gonna be
already
happy.
by default. Yeah, I know. I know. Um, and like people make these things in order that a creation of theirs would live in eternity, even if it's something as base as that, like a
But
silly
B,
method.
hey, warning, 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 no signature, no source, no link, anything. Something big. Share now.
Oh, do you know what are my favorite ones that you will like?
Hmm.
Guys, take care. There is a virus. If you get a message from Richard Bonestone that has a file called millenniumbug.exe.eu.win32, do not open it. It's a virus. And again, usually there you can't pinpoint it at time, but at the time when you could have sent emails, there were so many viruses as it is going around that like
No, but if you ask me, I want to focus on Christians here
yeah.
because I think it's blatantly sin. I honestly think that. I think it's blatantly sin. And I'm calling out sin. I'm not calling out the people who do it. Yes, I'm mocking them a little bit because I just don't get it. And
How
that's
did you
why
call
I
them? How
said
did you
I'm
call
risking
them?
being I'm risking being offensive. I'm risking being that guy who nobody wants to talk to because I've had it. I've had it. And
You had a great name for these types of people.
I don't think it can be translated though.
No, you can. Orthodox forwarding ladies.
Oh, dear. Yeah, these are a thing here. I can't comment on, but here in Serbia, this is happening. And
But
a
listen,
couple of
listen.
groups. I have a couple of groups like with Orthodox people. People from the church, etc., etc.
Why do you do
And
yourself? Why do you do these things to yourself?
I'll explain another time. But the thing is, by the way, because of these kind of things, we keep separating into smaller groups and like doing like subset of members every now and then, but somehow these elements permeate the new groups. They just find a way, they crawl into, they creep in, somebody invites them. And the thing is, why I call them, like you just translated to English, it's because they will do this everywhere, right? It's not like they will share this on one group. They will make sure to share this everywhere. Every single group they are a part of, they will send it to. Which, and then since we are members of multiple groups, I will get this message everywhere. And then it will circle back, right? And be reshared from another source. And it's like, but come on, 19,000 pigs? Are you freaking kidding? Are you freaking kidding me? What is this? Like,
Big land.
it's like, but okay.
This
Again,
is
back to my
why.
issue. Back to my issue. This, them sharing left, that is an inconvenience. But what I mind, this is blatantly sin. And what I mind is when I say it, no matter how hard I try to quote wonderful fathers from the church. I don't wanna make it seem like this is me saying something to them, right? Like, look at that guy, he's wise guy. No, I always make sure I find a relevant source and I link stuff, obviously. And I do that. I throw these pearls of wisdom at them. Not my wisdom. The church, collective wisdom. And you know what happens? They just stop responding until the next shared ridiculousness. Loop.
Well, there's this web comic whose name I love. The lesson is learned, but the damage is done. Except here, damage is done, the lesson
not
is learned, and there will be eternal damage all over again.
But you are doing damage. Like, look, I would like you to tell me this. Am I crazy for saying that this is sin?
No.
I'm not crazy. You would agree with me.
Well, my dislike of conspiracy theories comes from that very fact. I mean, I'm the first one.
Conspiracy theories are fun, though.
I think that a lot of conspiracy theories are simply those chain things that have sort of found a way to withstand any sort of scrutiny.
Yeah. Do you know? Let me show you something. If I can find it, because it's cool.
By the way, what you have just described is precisely the reason why I'm not a part of any larger group that I'm not immediate friends with. Once you added me to that Orthodox group, okay. Okay, let me just translate it for the audience. The course in auto removal and installation of the chip after the vaccination. How many people are attending?
8. Well, at the time when this was screenshotted, 8.5K going or interested.
I remember when this church in Croatia held a workshop on how to quit masturbation. And it was held by this organization with a rather unfortunate name, Hand of God. And they had like 25,000 people attending. Like, whoever saw the event immediately clicked attending. So anyway, I'm not a part of these groups because once you added me to one such group,
I already apologized. I apologize.
No. I understand. You meant well. I don't mind. But every single day, I would see something that would ruin my day. Like every day, like without failing.
I know. We all just ran away from it. All of us who were like there more or less originally. We just ran away. And to be honest with you, the Archimandrite, who is spiritually behind that, things around him changed as well since the time when all of this started, and it's not easy to take it all in. It's really not easy. And this for some reason people like gurus, and they will
Oh
go
yeah.
out of their way to make gurus out of very good spiritual fathers, you know. And
And not just that. Uh, what's even worse is that they will actively try to find someone who is a bit unhinged or problematic or extremist, because for them extremism equals piety and, what's even worse, holiness. um,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
I
mentioned
see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
I think I have mentioned this a couple of times by now. uh, like a priest told me an example. I don't think this is a real life example, but it is a good showcase of this mentality. A woman comes to confession in her parish church. Oh, Father, I had an abortion. Okay, my daughter, you're forgiven. This priest has no idea. Then she goes to another church. Father, I need to confess I committed abortion. Okay, you're forgiven. No, this guy has no idea. And she goes switching, and then she finally goes to some distant monastery, and she says, Father, I have committed abortion. How dare you? You have slaughtered, you have damned that child. Now you need to read this and this catechism for 3 hours every day. And she's like, this guy gets it, you
Yeah.
know?
Finally, I'm Roman Catholic now.
Yeah, no,
Just kidding.
but serious, but it is that mentality, like uh it is only good as long as it's extreme. um it's bad mentality, you know,
It's not just
because
bad mentality, it's twisted spirituality.
yeah, yeah,
It's really
precisely.
twisted spirit. And I've encountered this myself multiple times. And, this spirit can be felt, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because this kind of spirit doesn't doesn't do dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It does attack, it does conflict, doesn't do dialogue.
Yeah.
um, it's like the the format of dialogue is only debate, which is like, that's not the only form of dialogue. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
um, and there's so many like exclusions, if you understand what I'm saying,
I
like
know.
labeling and exclusions, like if this then that, and period.
Yeah.
And sometimes what I mind the most is if like God is just not there. You
But
understand what I'm saying? It's like
it-
it's like people who would say according to God this or that, and it's like completely outside of every single thing you've ever read or let alone experienced in faith.
but it is, I mean, it is true. Again, my spiritual father, Father Dimitri, he would call this binary mind. There's only zeros and ones,
Ooh,
nothing in between, no shades.
good. That guy smart. That's all I'm gonna say. That will be
Yeah,
your the late Father Dimitri, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
God bless his soul,
yeah, yeah.
in heaven. Um, Look, that is a very good, like, binary. What is binary? What?
A binary thinking or binary mind,
Just
just
okay.
zeros and ones. And it is true because uh, God is
But
way
but
more
we would all
complex.
go to hell if things were really like that. We would all just go to hell
Yeah,
because there would be no
precisely.
point for God's mercy at all. We would just
Yeah,
all literally go to hell because none of us is perfect. None of us is really like God. None of us is really fulfilling all the commandments. Like, how do you justify that in binary thinking, because everything everything between sin and eventually becoming us,
Christ-like.
Christ-like, everything that's in the middle, it's grace of God. And it's never you, it's always God who makes things happen. How?
And also, there is, the parable of the prodigal son.
Absolute
Um,
perfection. The whole Bible is in there.
yeah, but I think that there's part of it that we rarely notice because we're always emphasizing how the merciful the father is, how penitent the son is, how strict the older son is. Um, However, there is one element that I have not seen being discussed before, and that is the fact that the younger son started appreciating his father when he removed himself from his presence. He simply took his father for granted. You know, uh, in order to learn how to appreciate his father, he had to sink in sin. And I'm pretty sure that that is the story of a lot of us, you know. And I think that it is one of those part. Do not judge. That a major part of it is that people are learning a valuable lesson through staying in sin. That in the end it will not fulfill them, and it is better for them to be in sin and get disappointed in sin than to be like all pious and trying and constantly daydream of sinning, of lusting, or whatever. It is a big aspect of the story of Exodus. Like the Jews constantly were complaining how they missed the food of Egypt, even though they were slaves, but they had better food, you know. And I think that there's a lot to be said about it. So
I didn't want to go there. It's just
well, we went there.
we we totally did.
It took us 40 years.
Oh,
What?
you didn't turn on recording.
I see recording.
Okay. I just wanted to like wake you up.
You do realize that I use Zoom pretty often, and that missing a record button is something that would rarely happen to me. So
Never say that. It's
of course that tomorrow the exact opposite will happen at most opportune of moments. So
yes, but anyways, before I let you go,
bye.
you went to the Easter service, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't go last year because it was lockdown and I didn't have a paper like you. Um,
God knows his own. God knows his elder sons who judge the younger wayward sons.
yeah, so
I'm a garbage person.
you know the moment when when the priest starts singing the troparion and opens the door.
Like the
Oh,
entire service.
I've so missed the feeling of just being in heaven, dude.
Yeah.
I so missed that feeling.
You
Uh,
know, uh, actually, you described it well because, I always thought that I was simply struck by the majestic appearance of a Paschal liturgy, but it's not that. We're literally in heaven.
I really thought that myself as well, and there's always like small little doubt, but the type and quantity of this joy, it's not that joy. It
Yeah.
really isn't. It is something I always feel specifically during Easter. It is a
I, I just wanted to say it is once a year type of joy.
yes, yes. Like I can have like a memory of that feeling. I can have even muscle memory of that feeling, right? I know how my body felt, how I felt, what was in my mind, how light my walk was. But
Yeah.
I can't outside of that very moment when you basically proclaim finally, Christ is risen, trample death by death. It's mm, it's
It
good
is
that we
amazing.
have these recurring
Cycles.
cycles and just the way of the church. It's actually very good when you think about it. The way it drives you through the entire New Testament, how it reflects back on the Old Testament, how it drives you through transfiguration.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. I hoped you felt the same, and thank God you did.
It
And
was Easter, man. Of course, I felt the same.
yeah, for that like brief moment or a couple of moments, I really think it was pre-taste of heaven because I mean I've had two kids, um, you know, uh, come to this world, and it's not the same joy. You understand?
Yeah,
It's not the same thing. So yeah.
it's amazing still.
My apologies to the audience for me being very harsh towards.
Orthodox forwarding ladies.
Yes. I also apologize to the Orthodox forwarding ladies who might be listening to this video. Fortunately for me, we are not doing Serbian subtitles, so.
Eh,
Uh, uh, but really, I was already kinda not directly accused of being the wise guy. Yeah.
I think there was nothing indirect about.
There was,
Okay,
but it's fine. It's fine.
it's okay. He's not mad. He's just furious.
Did you inhale?
Yeah,
Furious.
furious.
Okay, go back to drawing board.
I am going to bed, not back to bed. I'm going to bed.
Why B? Since we're there, why are you not in your own apartment?
I have placed an interdict on that question until further notice because the furniture guy is having the time of his life. So
Okay, do you need somebody to put some pressure on the guy?
no, that Pascal pressure.
No, really, no, no, nothing.
No,
Like when it happens, it happens.
no, he gave me a deadline, May 11th to 13th. So
What
um,
is that? Like fifth deadline?
yeah, the fifth final deadline.
Well, guys, pray for B's final uh, move to a new place, which is in such a bad part of the city, but he loves it.
It's not.
So
It's a great.
let's respect his choice. Respect my bro.
It's a great place.
It's a grave place.
That too.
B finally realizing his Orthodox dreams. Sleeps in a coffin. Doesn't have an icon corner, but has like an icon ceiling.
Realizes his Orthodox dreams. Sleeps. Just sleeps.
Good night then.
Bye, G.
What?
Gem.
Stop it.
And
Stop it.
I'll never
Stop it
stop.
now. Stop it now.
I'll never
You'll
stop.
be sorry tomorrow.
Okay, fine.